Good life is my kids built their own things and didn't need my money, even if they get it, and they have their own happy lives and great marriages, or if that's what they want. A good life is I helped a ton of other people live a life they wouldn't have lived otherwise.
I cannot go to Starbucks without having to look at your freaking trucks, those yellow things with that dog.
I've said this before, it makes me happy.
I know it does.
And even within home services, I think you have to be very careful how far you expand.
That's the lesson.
So the only way I believe top 20 happens is by being extremely focused.
Awesome. Happy day. It's EJ McCoy here on the Find Your Gold podcast with one of my longtime friends and somebody I very much so consider a mentor, Jonathan Pototschnik. Jonathan, welcome. We're here at my house, my garage office here. I also call it the Find Your Gold studio, at least when I'm hosting, but welcome, sir. Welcome. Always an honor to have you over here. Let's just jump into it. How you been?
I'm good.
You travel a lot overseas. It seems more common than not.
Pretty much exclusively.
Yeah.
So for a while longer, and then we'll try to change that up.
So I don't think I've listened to some of your other podcasting with other friends of yours and whatnot. You don't oftentimes talk about your travels. Let's start there. Talk to me about where have you been this year and where are you headed this year?
Just got back from Jackson Hole. Before that, I was in France.
Wow.
And I'm leaving in 8 days for Africa, and then I'll be home for a few weeks, and then we go to Italy till the end of October.
How do you plan these trips? Do you plan them? Because it takes a lot. Like, I love to travel, but it takes a lot of work to plan those trips. Does your wife
No,
plan those?
zero.
You plan them?
I plan them.
You plan them. She doesn't?
No, she does not.
Sorry, when you said zero, that surprises me.
She'll have an opinion here or there, but frankly, no.
Wow.
She doesn't.
That's awesome.
She doesn't want to have anything to do with the planning process. And these days I have a group I work with, which is like a concierge travel group. I pay them a monthly amount and then they help me out, which they're awesome. I've tried all kinds of different scenarios. They're really good. And I have input, like I say, this is what I want to do. Like, for example, we're about to plan a China trip. So I'll say, these are the places that have to be part of the trip. If there are special properties I want to stay at that I know of, I might say these are the properties. So if there's something I know about,
right,
I'll give them that, and then we start to block out the itinerary, and then I want them to go find unusual things that we can do that most people won't do.
I was going to say, so that was the next thing I was going to ask you was when you go on these trips, because you spent a lot of the last, 3-4 years traveling the world.
Yeah.
And so when you go to these places, how do you find what to do? Like, you have you're using a concierge travel service that helps you find unique experiences.
Yeah. I do think that if you've never been to a place before and you just want to get a feel for it and see the big stuff, TripAdvisor's good to kind of find the top, 3 to 5 things to do. And I think you should generally do those things. It's like, kind of like, if I'm going to China, I want to see the Great Wall of China, or I want to see the terracotta soldiers. I want to see a few core things, and that's going to be the top stuff on TripAdvisor, I'm sure. But then you do that, and then you find the unique stuff. And I think the best way to do that is we hire guides in country. So if I'm going to England, I don't want guides. If I'm going to, maybe to go, like we went and saw the Churchill stuff, the underground stuff back in the Churchill day.
I did that.
Yeah, we talked about this. Okay, I want a guide for that because I'm not going to know what I'm looking at.
Right.
But for a lot of other stuff, maybe I'll use a guide here or there to get a local, like maybe you're going to be in an area for 5 days. A guide the first day kind of gets you acquainted, helps me find some of the cool stuff that you're not going to find otherwise. And then we'll go explore on our own. Or, for example, when we were in Cambodia, I used a guide and a driver the whole time.
Right. See, that's what I
did. And so
that's what I did.
It varies depending on the trip. So a great guide is a game changer on a trip.
Right.
Game changer.
I did London. I shouldn't say Europe.
Yeah.
I did a trip to London. It's the only overseas trip I've done a year and a half ago.
Yep.
And I had a private guide, and that made the trip.
Yeah.
Like, of course, I also used a concierge type travel service that helped set all this up. But between them and the guide, it made the trip. It wouldn't have been the same.
Yeah.
To say the least.
A trip to me comes down to and this is where they can get crazy expensive, the property you're staying in.
Well,
you're staying in a one-off, crazy, unique property, again, can be.
Are you looking for those? Because that's something you mentioned a second ago. Is you look for the experiences in terms
yes
of
and no. Like when we were in New Zealand, I knew there were a couple really special properties I wanted to be in. sometimes I'll know I want to be in this hotel.
Yeah.
But generally, no, I'm having them help me find like what are the really special places that I wouldn't even know about.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Was this a dream of yours? As an entrepreneur, we're on the Find Your Gold podcast. Well, we're going to talk about cars in a minute because I know that you and I definitely relate in cars really being something that we're passionate about. But was travel like this something you always planned on doing someday as you reached a certain point in your entrepreneurial ventures? Did you plan on travel, or did this come later on?
Probably came later on. I just wanted to be successful, and I was kind of singularly focused on being successful.
But it was never necessarily like, oh, I hope to someday get to travel the world, and that was like,
I just assumed I would. I don't think I really thought about it. I just assumed like someday I'm going to do it. I wouldn't have really imagined I'd do what I'm doing now. And to a large degree, that's because I didn't want to sell Service Autopilot. And even when we sold it, I didn't want to sell.
right. Well,
And so I just thought it was a good opportunity, and I got excited about doing maybe another software company. And so I was like, okay, I could do this. And so I never really saw a vision where I would take a long break. And that all kind of accidentally happened when we went to sell the business, because my other stuff, I don't have to run it. I'm like, well, I have this opportunity to take a break. I think it's an awesome way to live life, so I'm going to do it. And so it made the travel possible. Before, my vision was I'm always going to be running companies because I love running companies. So I never thought I'd be able to do this long of a stretch. So I think the answer is I just assumed we'd do more and more of this. And we'd already been traveling with our boys, but nothing like this. And then I think my brother was fairly influential in this. He's been to 180 countries.
isn't that like
He's getting to close to
almost
most
all
of them.
of
He
them? I was
hasn't been
gonna
to
say.
the last few stands, like the Afghanistans.
Well,
He hasn't been to a couple places he may have finished Africa. I think he went
I
a
was-
couple more Africa.
when
Yeah,
I
but-
was younger, I was ambitious to
Okay.
do that. Now I don't care to do that. But
He
that's
still would like to finish it, but he's kind of burned out. It takes a beat.
yeah.
Takes a toll. Anyway, I'd listened to the places that he loved over the years, and he lives just a complete opposite life to what I live. And so I'd always thought, some of those places that he really talks up, I'd wanted to just go see them.
Mhm.
So I'm certain that he had a bit of an influence on us students. Like, for example, Vietnam was totally on my radar because of him.
Okay. And if I understand talking to you, is it Vietnam? Which one of those the Asian countries is like your favorite?
Vietnam.
It's Vietnam.
Yeah, I mean, Japan's pretty amazing too, but Vietnam is, if I were to go there several times, I don't know if it'd hold up as my favorite, but it's so shocking because it's so completely different than anything you've ever seen or experienced in your life that I think it grabs my attention. And being an entrepreneur, I love the energy of that place. There's a lot of energy.
There's a lot of hustle.
Yeah.
What makes it so different? Like
52 million mopeds, like, dad's sitting here, kids standing there on a $400 moped, dad's sitting on the seat, riding, kids standing here, baby between them, mom in the back, it's raining, they have a sheet of plastic over them. And everywhere you look, that's what it looks like.
that's life.
It's crazy. And you eat all your meals in the streets, sitting in little plastic chairs.
What are you in? They're all the locals are on these mopeds. What are you as a tourist?
We hired a driver there.
So you had a driver.
Yeah, we had a driver. And I'm perfectly happy renting cars and driving myself around in a lot of cases. And sometimes I use drivers. It just depends on what style trip we're going for. But in Asia, I would never in 100 million years drive it. Every time we're in Asia, I get a driver.
Why?
It's like another world, man. It's like,
Because you'll drive the opposite side of the road. You'll drive in
yeah, I drive in England, Scotland, Ireland. No problem. In fact, Ireland is one of my favorite places to
Australia.
drive.
Another one that's like that.
Yeah, the kind of stuff we were doing. We were on an island in Australia, and then in Sydney, I didn't need a car. But my recollection is we fly into Vietnam to Hanoi. Yeah, there's so many Hanoi at the top. It's capital city, northern point. We're staying in this freaking amazing place. We walk out the front doors to just go explore. And it's literally like walking into the video game Frogger. That's how I remember it. It's like you have to cross the street and there's 4 lanes of traffic and it's just pure chaos. And people will walk like 2 lanes and stop, and cars and mopeds are going around them, and they'll walk further. And it's like, holy crap, like this is intimidating. So you're kind of looking around for a group. It's like, I'm going to go hobby with this group of locals, and we're going to cross with them.
You're like the way that they used to play or I don't know. There's sports there. They would teach you how to stay in like a group.
Yeah. So you're looking for a group as a
survival mechanism.
Yeah, and then you make your way around. And it's like, okay, we want to eat something, and so you're going to buy pho at a house, like just imagine multi-story buildings are just packed and they're multiple stories. And there's a family that for 60 years has been serving chicken pho. It's like noodles and broth with chicken in it in front of their place for 60 years. That's the only thing they serve. And you sit on a little plastic 3-year-old a chair that a 3-year-old sit in, a little plastic table, and there's, vinegar and different things on this little plastic table that you can put in your pho. And it's like, this is the most insanely good food I've ever had in my life, and it costs $3. And it's just that is the experience you have everywhere you go in some different way. Like, you learn something you've never seen before. You go into a temple or a pagoda and there's just money and food everywhere. And you're thinking, and people come in and they bring this stuff in, and, we ask our tour guides, like, don't people take the money or the food? She's like, why would anybody do that? This is for people that need money or food. Like, if somebody needs something, they'll come get a little bit of money, get a little bit of food. Nobody'd steal this. It's like, wait, what? Like, this is nothing like the United States.
That's because if you steal it, don't you lose your hand or something like that?
No, it's a community, more of a community-based culture where people are generally, as I perceive it, more helpful and supportive of the community. It's less, and again, I haven't spent enough time there to know for sure, but my take on it was it's less of it's about me or I, it's more about we.
Wow.
It is amazing. So it's that kind of a thing. And so that's probably one of the things I most love about travel, is seeing the different cultures. And I love Asia. Asia is just so different than here. And then Vietnam is just a level up because it's so freaking different than anything you've ever experienced. And so you can't help but the time goes really fast because it's a new experience every minute of every day, something you've never experienced.
Yeah.
I got so many things I want to do. I'm half-assing 5 for 50 channel. I want to do all this stuff, but it's like,
you also like the freedom of
branch with my brother, and we're talking like, okay, let's do the Oriental Express together, or let's do, whatever. And I've been wanting to do China, and my brother's like, I haven't finished China. And so now we're going to China. Like, it's always that we're talking to a friend and like, oh, we want to go here. It's like, God, we'd like to go there too. Let's go.
Not enough time.
Yeah. So I want to do everything. And, but I most love work, but I keep getting trips in the way of work. So I don't know the best way to live life. Maybe that is the best way to live life, but
that's a good problem to have. That is a really good, that's an entrepreneurial dream. It's
a dream that I
come true for
I need like another lifetime because I have too many things I want to do. I love business and I want to start these other concepts. I don't really want to do everything it's going to take to start them, but I want to at least see if they'll work. You resonate with this. Like, you love starting crap.
I'm done with that though. What you got to say is I used to love.
You still love it. You still love it. Anyway.
What I had.
Yeah. So it's a very, very big conflict that's on my mind all the time. And I try to make myself be as focused as I can. So for example, right now, I'm only letting myself do City Turf stuff. And maybe I'll think through a concept or something like that, but of a different business. And I set that aside and see if that's still bothering me in a year and it's something I want to do, or I could find somebody to run it. But otherwise, I just work on City Turf and we do our travel stuff.
So let's talk about 5 for 50 for a second. You're about 1 year almost, if I'm looking at the calendar, or if I remember correctly.
I think August or something. Yeah, because Tiffany she took her sisters to Washington, whatever. I think that's August or September.
So we're right.
That's when I launched it.
August right now, August 2025.
Yeah,
launched in August 2024. How's it going? Tell me about I know you probably have conflicts there in your head as well.
A lot.
Yeah. Talk to me.
It's going. It's about how I'd summarize it. It's hard, but I've also really half-assed it. Like, so
what do you want for it? Why are you doing
it? That's a whole different problem.
I know. That's why I asked. I have the same challenges with Pet Waste Millionaire, or similar.
Yeah.
Different, but
the inspiration for 5 for 50 was Care Millionaire, while very small, was such an impactful thing in my world that I do believe that building your reputation online is one of the single most valuable activities you can do. And I mean, it's just like, I don't think there is anything more valuable, frankly.
I agree.
And
it's why I'm conflicted.
And so I've been conflicted on, okay, do I end up in the software business again? I was certainly sold Service Autopilot. I was going to do another Service Autopilot, but do it different. Decided that's not going to happen. But so it would have benefited me there. I thought I might do coaching, so it would benefit me there. I thought I might invest in other companies. It might benefit those companies. I thought I might work with young entrepreneurs. It might benefit that. So I had all these things I might use it for, but yet I'm not sure exactly because of the conflict I talked about earlier, it's like my highest leverage thing is just to work on City Turf.
Yeah.
And then I like to travel and I like to be able to go do my car racing and all that junk. And so I don't have an exact reason to build the channel. I also do legitimately like helping other people, but creating content on a schedule is kind of a pain in the butt.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm committed to it, but I need a team. I need to build a team around me. And the reason I haven't built a team around me is because I'm always gone. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go spend $150,000, $200,000 to hire some people, and then be like, I'll see you in a month.
Yeah.
And then I'll be home for 2 weeks and I'll see you again in another month. Like, what are they going to do? So I never move the ball forward. So I'm sort of stuck right now in limbo. I'm committed to it. It's very slow. I wish it would go faster, but why should it go faster? Because I haven't done the work that it requires for it to go faster.
Yeah.
And the version of content I'm creating is at the end of the day not super exciting. It's, just me talking by myself, teaching something. It's not that entertaining.
Valuable, but
it's valuable
not
if you care, but it's not going to attract much of an audience. I don't even care about attracting a huge audience. I just want the right audience. So there's a lot of things that need to change and improve to get traction, and I need to just do a far better job. And I know what that looks like. It's just that I haven't been, I guess you'd say at the end of the day, willing to do what it takes because I have these other distractions, but I'm still committed to it. I'm going to do it.
Right.
I got to be home long enough to build a team.
Of the 5 things you want to do, it's kind of towards the top along with what you're doing.
It was at the top because it's probably the highest leverage activity.
Yeah.
And it can support all kinds of other things.
Agreed.
And I get a lot of fulfillment out of people saying, hey man, you helped me make a massive change in my life. That feels good to me. I feel like when I look back and I'm 90, I'm going to say, okay, life well lived was not making another $100 million. A life well lived is, having 1,000 people that said, hey, I have a different life because of you. And so I struggle with the making more money thing versus the helping more. And when I say, what's a good life at the end of my life? Good life is my kids built their own things and didn't need my money, even if they get it. And they have their own happy lives and great marriages, or if that's what they want. A good life is I helped a ton of other people live a life they wouldn't have lived otherwise. But a good life is, I was wealthy and I got tons of experience, but more wealth doesn't equal any more joy in the end, or even right now, frankly.
No.
Other than it's just a thing. And so it's noise in my brain. This is all noise. And so I know what to do. I just need more time. I need people around me to help me accomplish that. So that is where I'm going.
Going back to building that team. Yeah. I want to talk more about building that team.
I need the team.
So you need the team. Do you envision the team of 5 for 50 that you're talking about here? Are you the only one in front of the cameras and the team is all helping you behind the camera? Or are you envisioning a team in front of the cameras too, helping you?
Oh, I've got a million different visions. Like you can have 1,000 ideas.
But that's what I'm asking, because
initially it's more of a team behind the scenes, but I'm also like, I've got a bunch of I've got a number of friends that do different things. Some people know, a guy named Mike Andes. He's doing a killer job traveling around.
Mike,
the guys that run
Mike is an inspiration.
Mike's doing a killer job.
I agree.
And the guys that run Upflip are doing a great job.
What is Upflip?
If you look them up, they'll do like 300 to 1 million views. They travel around,
but
talking to service companies.
They charge. My friend within our scoop industry paid to get on there.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't do it.
Yeah. Okay, that's who this is.
Okay.
You know who?
Okay, yeah, I didn't know they charge. They wanted me to do it, but I can't do it because my team members at City Turf don't want anybody to see our setup, so I couldn't be on the show. But I didn't say anything about charging. I had to eventually bail out of that.
Well, and I think they charge in some cases.
Oh, okay.
My memory serves, they wanted $20,000 for us to do something.
Wow.
From what I've understood, people that do it, like I've heard from numerous different sources that are completely separate from one another, that like it works.
Oh, I think it's incredible.
I heard someone talking about them last week.
I love what they're doing. I got a good feeling about them. I would have 100% done it, but we just wanted to keep a lower profile. Yeah. You know that. I'm pretty secretive about a lot of stuff.
How do you balance that? That's actually, you are very much so abundance minded. You don't believe in you and I are direct competitors. I like to joke that we were just talking about my trips to Starbucks a minute ago. I cannot go to Starbucks without having to look at your freaking trucks, those yellow things with that dog.
I've said this before. It makes me happy.
I know it does. I saw one this morning. I was thinking of you. It was parked in the Walmart parking lot. I thought, I hope he's on the clock in there. No, I'm kidding. That's joking. But no, seriously, how do you balance especially in the pet waste industry. And other home service. I think the pool industry is like this. It's cutthroat. They don't want to talk. They don't want to be friends with.
They're all cutthroat. The lawn care industry was cutthroat too.
I've never known it to be though.
When I got in it, people didn't talk.
Yeah, see, I guess you've changed that some. Because I have friends that are direct competitors in this marketplace.
I'm friend. I don't know. I don't worry about it.
In addition,
I just texted Matt Davis yesterday and asked him if his yard signs are working. Like, and he'll answer. I'll tell him anything. I mean, like we have I don't know.
So where do you find that balance? Where do you find that balance?
I just don't care. I don't know. I don't know what the balance is. I just don't worry about it.
So you don't care. Like if it was only you, you'd be like, come on, I'll show you. I'll show you whatever you need. But you also separately, your balance is you're respecting the wishes of your business partners. And you understand that.
And I totally understand.
You don't care doesn't mean that nobody should care.
No, I don't like that. I actually don't even disagree with them.
I agree. I know what you mean.
I 100% agree with I can't argue for a second. Like I'll just use Philip's name. Like he runs the company. He's freaking awesome. And like
he doesn't want to.
He would say, I don't think I'm putting words in his mouth. He's like, "What's the upside?"
Yeah,
0.
Yeah,
I totally agree. Like,
there is struggle with it. I struggle with this. Ben knows this. I struggle with this balance. Like, I got to have an upside. I don't want to tell the entire world I'm as open as I am. I don't want to tell the entire world every little single detail.
There's no reason to show anybody anything. There's no reason to tell anybody how you did it. There's 0. It's like there's no upside.
Unless you're coaching and or if you're building a school.
For me, there was upside.
The school.
And I frankly think for them, there is upside too because of the relationships I've built. I could call you, I could call Matt, I could call a bazillion people around the country and say, hey, what are you guys seeing in the data? What are you doing? And everybody will tell me anything and I can take that back to them.
Yeah.
Also, the volume of, and I know a lot of people are getting this, but the volume of people that want to buy our company for stupid multiples, I don't think what I've done has hurt us. I think it's helped us.
I agree. And I completely agree.
And if
all the things you do on media.
Yeah. And so
I'm trying to do the same thing in pet waste, in the pet waste.
So it has helped us. That's the upside. But also, I would like to see our business become more of a business that's on video for even the local market.
What do you mean?
Well, so how can we show Miss Smith and how Mr. Jones, kind of how to, but also how can you be a little more interesting, entertaining? People do business with people they like and trust. How can we just show more of who we are? Like people don't understand. They think mowing a lawn is a high school kid thing. They discount.
Yes.
Like most people think pest control has to be done by a pest control company. Pest control is a far easier service than half the services we provide. But yet people in their mind think pest control is more complicated than these other services. You need a pest control company versus a lawn care company. It's like, what are you talking about? That's a far easier freaking service. That's why everybody wants to be in that business and why all private equity wants to buy it. Yeah. It's not exactly hard.
Has a little bit of regulation behind it.
Yeah. And that's what keeps out a lot of people. So how can you show the market more of how things work and more of the behind the scenes and create more personality? If you're going to do that, you can't hide your company.
If you go and you look at Chorby's social media, we've spent the last 2.5 years doing a lot of that. There's an element of entertaining, there's an element of training, and that's something that even with all the restructuring we're doing, we're leaning into that.
I think we should do more of it.
The more we can do, the better.
It's the world we live in.
So agree.
So anyway, so I think while there's no upside, I think we live in a completely different world today, and it's not all negative to be a little more out in the front.
Yeah.
And also the other thing I agree heavily with and I'm very self-conscious about this with my partners, specifically Philip, because he and I talk all the time. We don't want anything to come across as prideful or bragging. Like that's not the people we are. And so when you guys start talking about revenue and all this other stuff, some people misinterpret that. And it's like, so why even talk about it? It doesn't matter. And so that would probably be a little bit of the other perspective there. So it's just no point talking about it.
Yeah.
So I be quiet about it.
I like it. That's wise.
Yeah.
Pet waste, the pet waste industry.
Yeah.
Of course, my vision for Find Your Gold podcast long-term and Pet Waste Millionaire long-term is for it to be an inspiration. It's not about me, Pet Waste Millionaire, talking about what you're talking. It's not about, and you talked about this with Lawn Care Millionaire. You never intended to be the Lawn Care Millionaire. You intended to be a lawn care millionaire.
To make you a Lawn Care Millionaire because everybody thinks of being a millionaire.
To inspire that. If you can become a millionaire in lawn care, you can be inspired to become a millionaire in anything.
Yeah.
And that's the same concept with Pet Waste Millionaire. In a lot of ways, Pet Waste Millionaire is an homage to me learning so much from Lawn Care Millionaire, from you. And so I want to continue to build Pet Waste Millionaire into more of an inspirational inspiring entrepreneurship in all home services. And throughout that, hopefully, I can find awesome partners that, just the 1 out of 1,000 that want to be a partner as a franchisee somewhere in this country. That's my vision. But that said, it's very much so geared towards the pet waste space right now. And a lot of our audience, I think, are pet waste removal entrepreneurs.
Yep.
What is your observation of the pet waste removal space? You've definitely looked at it over the last 15 years.
Yep.
You and I talking about it, but even separately, what are your observations of the industry? Good
Tiny,
and bad. Tiny.
Small, tiny, good margins, real low CapEx. Like you don't have to spend a lot of money to get into it.
Really low.
Really
like
low.
The lowest of the low, right? Is there anything lower in terms of home service?
Pools? No,
No,
I don't know.
You have to do. I've been in pools. I just sold my pool business. You have to buy a lot more to get in the
No, there's probably not. No. There's no way. No. I don't
When you
think
say
there's any.
tiny,
The industry as a whole is just small. It's an emerging. I love things that. So I think about when you're starting a company, I think one of the single most important things you need to focus on is a trend. I think what you do at the very top level when you start something is you think about trends. Like, where is it going? So if you've ever heard this saying, a rising tide lifts all boats.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's a better analogy. Would you rather be building your company in the Dallas market, or would you rather be building your company in I don't know what Detroit's like these days, but we use the Detroit example, like, because a lot of people will probably think of Detroit as a declining market. I don't know that it's still quite that's the reality
not that
anymore.
bad, but
yeah.
it's not.
But you might remember
Probably
that.
not Frisco, Texas.
Yeah, there's some market that you can say this is a declining market. People are leaving that area. And so to me, that's top level thinking when you're founding a business. You want to start a business in the path of growth or a trend that's going this direction. It's the rising tide. You don't even have to be the best company. You're going to benefit from the industry growing. To me, that's your industry.
I did it with lawn mowing from the time I was 15, 16, 17 years old to today.
Yeah.
I still mow lots and lots of yards here in Collin County, Texas, as it massively grew.
It just keeps growing.
And it keeps growing.
Yeah.
And I've ridden that wave.
You've read that wave,
because
exactly.
nobody wants to mow their yard. And so there was another wave where everybody's convenience focused, especially in the culture that we live in here in Dallas-Fort Worth.
Yeah.
And that's a wave. You're looking for those yourself.
The Service Autopilot was part of that wave. City Turf has played that way.
That's what your YouTube channel, Care Millionaire, was
part of that. And the 5 for 50 would not be riding a wave. It's a different time now. But if in terms of me doing another business, I would ride a wave. Like right now, if I was purely trying to make money, I would ride the roll-up wave, the private equity wave in home services. Yeah. If all I want to do is make money, that's the game I'd play.
That's who bought my pool business. They were rolling up.
Yeah. And that's happening. More and more money is rushing into home services. We can talk about why, but that's happening. And I believe it's going to continue to happen. That's
not really happening in pet waste. And that's where I see an opportunity. It's so
unknown, but there's a trend there that that is a growing business. And so that's what got me off on this. Pet waste is a growing business. It's more and more people. There's an awareness that's building. It's going to take years and years to continue building.
I say it all the time.
But you're in the path of growth.
Right. 65 million dog owners. How many of them have never heard of the pet waste industry?
And how many want to do that job?
Yeah.
0. And how many have heard? 15%? I don't know. Tiny. So it's a trend, and you're riding the trend, and I like that. Now, I prefer that service as an add-on, and we've talked about this, to my existing business, but I've also concluded from talking to you and us talking to the team that it's kind of we thought we could, where I'm going, but I thought if we could add it on to say mowing, oh my gosh,
I had lunch with a guy. He's over in Aubrey. Just a few weeks ago. In fact, one of my longtime team members, he left for a very good opportunity. I wish him well, but he left working for me and went and worked for him. And then I had lunch with his new employer. We got together. And he was telling me that he introduced this to his business. And he's charging almost what we charge. Mm-hmm. It's not that much less. And he simply, because he's paying his H2B mowing crews P for P, some element of P for P. And so he just showed them the math and was like, hey, look, you can be here for an extra 5 more minutes and you'll make 40% more money.
And they took it?
And they took it.
See,
it's working. And I don't see it working at scale, but that guy's made it work.
I just can't help but wonder, like, if you presented it right, like P2P,
There's
as being part of the presentation is probably the biggest way to get the guys
how you do it.
if you're just telling a guy, hey, dude, you're going to still make the same 19
They're
bucks
just
an
gonna
hour,
run over it,
and now you've got to also pick up poop, which is you don't want to do.
especially
Why would they want to do it? Why would they be like, heck yeah, give me that job?
in my experience. The guys who mow yards, at least in Dallas Fort Worth, this isn't just Dallas Fort Worth because it's different, but the demographic of the guys mowing lawns in Dallas Fort Worth, they think it's disgusting.
Yeah, we've had these conversations.
But this guy, I can't. Rusty, that's his name. You may know him. I can't think of his business name. But
where's he here?
Aubrey. Yeah.
McComas.
Yes. You know him.
Yeah, definitely. He's awesome.
Okay. I knew you knew him. I didn't know how well.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's doing it pretty successfully, as I understand. I don't know if he wanted.
How do I not know this?
I don't know if he wanted me to tell everybody that. But
Oh, he's tell me. I went to a concert with him the other
But
day.
in some ways, you could say that it could be a threat to the pet waste industry if it did catch on, and mowing businesses started doing it. If you're doing a SWOT analysis,
The only way that it would be a threat to the pet waste industry is if people start dropping their prices. But I think that we've talked about this, like because I've joked about getting into. Well, I'm not going to get into it. My team would have to decide they want to get into it. But I've joked about City Turf getting into this.
about it, and I've joked about I'll break your legs. No,
Yeah. So, but at the same time, I think you can make the argument when you have a City Turf, you have your different companies or brands out there marketing, you're educating the market, and it will be good for all of us. Like there will be a day that the additional
I have
competition
argued
is
that.
diminishing returns, but right now I don't think yeah, you'll lose some business to us, no doubt about it. But at the same time, we'll all educate the market, and it'll help you because it'll grow the market.
That has been my argument. I have a reputation in the industry, even though it's not. There's an element of truth to it, but it's not completely true. I have a reputation. I've been accused that we encourage small guys to start their business in a far off market outside. This is for pet waste in a far off market. They warm the market up with their hundreds of thousands of marketing dollars. I'm being facetious.
Yeah,
They warm the market off.
$100,000. Yeah,
They warm the market up, and then we come in and dump $100,000 on top of them and just blow them out and make business hard for them. When the truth is the opposite.
Yeah,
we come into a market and spend more money than anybody else can, and that actually benefits that whole market because of the awareness.
I mean, the math is simple. Let's say there's 10% penetration in the market, and somebody like even a City Turf comes in. Like we only do $5 million in mowing or something. It's like not much. And so let's say you could get 20% of those people to do the dog thing. So that's 1,000 people.
You're probably letting 5,000 new people know that the industry exists.
If I came into the market and I'm advertising everywhere and I gain 1,000 clients, but the market doubles, the market wins, not us.
Rising tide lifts all.
So that's this absurd argument.
But the industry, because
this is how all industries work. It's not unique to
but
everybody.
All of them think
everybody thinks small.
Yeah, it drives me insane.
But it's a new industry, so they'll think especially small is my theory. But all industries think small.
But on the flip side, what's contradicting is Josh Cahill, my business partner. Literally, we were just talking this weekend, and the industry, the pet waste space is actually seen. I mean, everybody's really talking that I hear from or talk to that it is a little harder to get clients this year. It's gotten harder.
It's harder in every trade right now.
It's harder in every trade.
Everybody I'm talking to is saying the same thing.
And Josh and I disagreed with him, but he was pointing out, he was like, when you add 1,000 new businesses to the pet waste, when you double the number of businesses in pet waste,
that's part of it. There's something else going on.
I agree. And that's what I told Josh. I said, because I still believe that you add 1,000 new businesses to this industry. If you double the amount of people trying to start this business, there's so many people out there that don't even know the industry exists. You're just getting the awareness out there.
Yeah.
You're not competing against each other.
I think it also has to be said, my perspective on everything is that I can win. And maybe I'm not going to be the ultimate winner, but if I think about a market, I always believe I could be a top 20%. I always think I can figure it out. Yeah. So if you come to business with the perspectives like, hey, we'll spend the money, we'll figure this out, then you have a different mindset from the person who just needs it to be easy and isn't going to make the effort, isn't going to learn, isn't going to spend the money, isn't going to try marketing. And so I think my perspective on the way business works makes me think about this type of stuff differently.
How?
I don't live in fear of the competition.
Totally. And that's good wisdom by many people on social media that are teaching business these days is don't even worry about the competition.
Yeah.
Do your thing because business is out there.
Yep.
You have to go hustle, especially if you can be in the top 20%.
Yep.
But how do you balance that? Because see, I had the same thought, which is where the development of Chorby came 6 years ago.
Yep.
That I can be in the top 20% and I can learn and I'll just spend the money. And it was this abundance concept and this concept of, I mean, look at Amazon Prime and how that's revolutionized the world. And I listened to the Everything Store, or the audiobook, the Everything Store, and then Amazon Unbound. And this is all, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I have a genius idea here in Chorby. I'm going to do all home services under one brand with the same mindset that you have. So how have you been disciplined to say, I know I can be in the top 20% and I can put enough money and I can be successful? How have you balanced not going into all these services the way I did?
Because I could be the top 20% in one or two things. I can't be, I just.
You even realize,
100%. I mean, look at what I've done.
You can't be in the top 20% in 30 different home service businesses.
No, don't believe it for a second. I really think City Turf does too many things.
Yeah.
And so and I say that as the team would probably say, golly, we have too many services on our, but what do we get rid of? And so I'm not saying anything. That was not a statement against anybody's, what's going on in the business. I didn't need it at all.
General concept.
It's just a lot. It adds complexity. But look at what I've done. I did City Turf. Well, I got rid of 2008, 2009. I got almost everything out of my life except for City Turf and this new thing I was going to start called Service Autopilot. And then the only other thing I ever added was coaching back into the exact same market. So everything I did was congruent. I learned from City Turf. They helped me talk to my audience at Service Autopilot. And if I learned something from my audience in the Service Autopilot world, I could tell my City Turf team. My coaching was exactly related. It was all directly connected. I never left it. And today, when I sold Service Autopilot, I made a commitment to myself. I will only invest in home services. I almost got distracted. I was very interested in a longevity performance investment that I didn't do. But
those are investments. That's different.
Still, if you look at the data on angel investing, it's a giant disaster.
So it was an angel invest. It wasn't investing the way you might invest your money in the market or whatever.
Yeah. Oh no. I invest my money in private equity and in the market completely different because it's passive. I'm not actively managing it, but for stuff that you're trying to get higher alpha or more return on,
or that you're managing it,
or that I'm involved in some way, I will only invest in home services. That's where I have an unfair advantage and unique experience. And so and even within home services, I think you have to be very careful how far you expand.
That's the lesson.
So the only way I believe top 20 happens is by being extremely focused.
Yeah. That's the lesson I've learned in the last couple of years. I look forward to talking more. Okay. Last question, and then we'll wrap up here. And this actually talks a little bit about investing. This is one that I added kind of last minute yesterday because it's a selfish question, but it's a fun one. Okay. So I have one single stock today.
You own one single stock?
No. I don't have any stock right now. I have enough money right now. I can buy one single share of anything traded on the stock market. And I know this isn't completely your world. We'll talk a little bit about this. I'm just curious today, and I know you don't study this daily or anything, but you're a student of it. Mm-hmm. What single stock comes to mind if I was going to just ask you, I'm buying a single stock today. I'm buying one share of Tesla or one share of Microsoft or one share of Ford. Probably not Ford, but what in your head? And again, I know this isn't.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would not buy a single stock. I'd buy an ETF, a bucket of stocks. There's no chance I'd buy a single stock if that's my only investment.
It's not your only investment. It's just what you're going to do.
If I was going to gamble.
Yeah, exactly.
If I was going to gamble, I'd probably buy Strategy.
Strategy.
It's MicroStrategy.
Haven't heard of it.
It's a Bitcoin investment.
Okay.
So they're basically buying up tons of Bitcoin. It's a complete gamble. That stock will be destroyed if Bitcoin goes down. But if Bitcoin doubles, it would outgrow, in my opinion, a Tesla.
Say it again. It's called
MicroStrategy. They renamed themselves Strategy. I'm telling you, it's full on gambling. But if you're going to put me on I have limit orders on that stock if it drops low enough to buy it. But it's full on. I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm just full on gambling. Yeah. It's a complete bet on the idea that Bitcoin continues to go up.
I think I'm asking is a lot of gambling.
Yeah, it's a huge risk because I think the market's probably going to continue to go up, but unfortunately, the story of Bitcoin is it's not depegged from the market, which is the dream. We want it to be non-correlated, meaning like gold, we want it to move in a different direction from the market. It's not. That's the story everybody says, but it's not. You just look at the data. In fact, the market dropped 1% something the other day and Bitcoin got kicked a bit and then it's back.
It's just part
when the market recovered. So anyway, where I'm going with this is assuming the market continues to hold or grow and assuming that Bitcoin starts to go up again, it's kind of stuck at a ceiling at the moment.
What's it at 107 last I looked, which was a month
It
ago?
hit 123, and I
Oh,
think it's
wow.
trading around 115 right now.
Okay, so
but
it's gone up since.
yeah, but it's not hit resistance, or it's hit resistance and it's kind of stuck. Anyway, I'm getting off in the weeds. If Bitcoin goes, then these stocks will go. Like a strategy. But I'm also very concerned about that market. I'm just giving context because this is full on gambling. I'm also very concerned because now Trump's group, they've got it. They're trying to replicate strategy. All these other people are replicating it, and I think it could lead to the next bubble and big giant burst in Bitcoin. But if the market holds steady and Bitcoin breaks through resistance and goes, then this stock will probably be a faster way to make money. Because so many of your other stocks like Palantir and Tesla's in a mess right now. Like so many of these other stocks that are NVIDIA that everybody is super excited about, I feel like they're not going to double again. Like Tesla could double again someday, but they're going to have a big story. Like we're legitimately going to have
robots.
Or more than robots, but that's way far out. The one that might move Tesla next is if they can legitimately do the self-driving taxis, but you don't know.
So my Tesla, I actually did buy a single stock of Tesla. I'll explain why I asked this.
I don't think there's anything. It's just
and actually it's done remarkably well, but it is totally gambling. It's actually, I'll tell you how I started this to begin with, but Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Does it not alarm? You don't hear, is it not alarming that Bitcoin, nobody knows where the hell it came from and who created it? Is that not alarming?
I mean,
considering what it's become?
No.
Why not? Because I don't know.
I've been pretty negative on Bitcoin forever, so I'm not like a Bitcoin evangelist. I cannot fathom. I've not been willing to bet on it for the longest term, and I've been around it since it was hundreds of dollars, and it was my single biggest investing mistake I've ever made, not following along with some others. And then when I had some, I sold it because I never thought in a million years the government would let it run. It's almost impossible to make an argument in my mind that this is good for the government. It's not good for the U.S. Like they're saying stable coins are now good for the U.S., so it's the new spin on this. It's just not good for the U.S. So I thought for sure this was never going to happen. And so it was not an asset class I was interested in. And then when Trump got reelected, I was like, oh, geez, we're going to have 4 more years of potential growth in the Bitcoin market. And I think my personal theory is they're doing it for their own selfish reasons, not for what's best for the United States.
I tend to agree on that.
That's political, but that's my personal. And so, but I think we have 4 years of a friendly crypto environment that will further entrench it. Like right now, Bitcoin isn't even worth the amount of money NVIDIA stock is. So when a lot of people think it's got a high, it's $100 and something thousand, but it's still it's not even an asset class yet. In a sense, it is an asset class, but it's smaller than one stock, smaller than NVIDIA. The whole entire valuation, the market cap of Bitcoin.
It is? Yeah. See, I would have guessed it's way higher than the market cap.
I think I wish I could double check myself. I think all of crypto is like 4 trillion. Microsoft's more than 4 trillion.
Yeah, see, it didn't
occur to me that the whole crypto, I may be wrong, but I think that's accurate information. And so it's still if it's going to be a thing, it's still super early days.
Yeah.
But now I think that we're going to have many years of a favorable political environment, and it's going to get further entrenched. So maybe by the time this government's out of office, maybe it's, an $8 trillion market cap. And then it just gets harder and harder to for the government to kill the asset class.
I could talk all day on this. I really could.
Do not buy. This is full on gambling.
No, I know. And that's why I want to tell you the reason I asked that question is because about a year ago, I have my I've put in 401k and I do all the wise stuff by and large, not everything, but most everything. But about a year ago, I'm looking at how much money I spend on eating out, let alone the money I spend on cars, my toys. And I'm thinking, you idiot, EJ, and you like to go to Vegas. And I don't win in Vegas. I bring my money. I don't overspend, but I bring the amount I'm going to lose. And I usually lose it. Not all of it, but I usually lose most of it. So I'm thinking to myself, you idiot, why don't you at least gamble $100 a week in the market too?
Yep.
And so I had this old Fidelity account that is mine, and then it had, a couple $1,000s in it. And so I just started putting $100 every week out of my primary account into this. And every 6 to 8, 12, 15 weeks, whenever I'm doing my banking, I go in there and I'm like, which stock do I want to just finger in the wind. I want to buy one share of this stock this week. And it's basically gambling. It's exactly what I'm doing. Now, the strategy is buy and hold. Like buy and large blue chips stocks and never touch it again. That's my gamble. It's just fun. And just watch it go up, up, and up, or go down, down, and down. It means nothing. It's basically like playing the roulette table in Vegas.
Yep. So when I was 20, I was trading individual stocks. And then I realized I wasn't making any more money than if I just put in a fund, so I quit doing it. And then somewhere, maybe like a decade ago, I started buying and selling some individual stocks, not with much money, like 20 grand, or something. And then I just realized I've got these companies that are worth millions and millions and millions of dollars, and I'm spending time thinking about this.
Yeah.
Like, this is so freaking dumb. And then, so I quit doing it. And then the other problem I have with individual stocks is, I'll give you a perfect example. So I had in my Schwab account, I had, like $1,000 or something that was just like, maybe as interest that came from somewhere. I don't know. It just accumulated. It wasn't investing anything. So I put it in Facebook, a few years ago. It's gone up. I mean, that $1,000 is like 4,000 now. I don't know. And that's a perfect example. With individual stocks, you're either pissed because you didn't put enough money in, or you're pissed because you bought an individual stock and you shouldn't have been buying.
I would say the same thing about an ETF. I'm either pissed if it goes up. I'm pissed that I didn't put more in.
Or that way on everything. I try to talk myself off the ledge. No, because I think the reason I'm okay on that stuff is because my entire life, since I was 20, except for times I was really investing in the businesses or we didn't have the money, I've cost averaged in. So I look at those kinds of things differently because I just constantly buy and I never sell.
Of cost averaging. I never sell stuff, but I'm not done.
So I'm not as bothered. Whereas with individual stocks, it tends to be a lump sum buy. And then you're also thinking about when you get out. And I don't do that with any of the other stuff.
I literally I envision anything I put into the market. I've never really sold it. I sold some Bitcoin. I actually did pretty well on Bitcoin early on, years ago. And then I lost all the money I made on Bitcoin on, I was about as bad a timing as you can get on, Zoom.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Literally I bought it at the most expensive that it will ever got, right before Google kind of took over and it was free and nobody wanted to use Zoom anymore.
Yeah.
If I'm saying it right.
Yeah, you're saying it right. Yeah.
But anyways, I like to talk all different things with you. It's been a pleasure as always. I could go another hour, but I've been told that I have to keep it under at least an hour or so. So,
all right.
Talk to me a little bit about where can people find you. Tell.
Only place you can find me is on YouTube at 5 for 50. The number 5, FOR 50 spelled out. That's it.
Awesome.
I do respond. I've been out of town for a while, so I'm a little behind on comments, but the single best way to have a conversation with me would be through the comments on a video.
Awesome. 5 for 50, Jonathan Pototschnik, everybody. You're watching the Find Your Gold podcast. EJ McCoy here. Make it a great day.